Hello there, everybody. It's nice to see you and nice to know that you are here. So I am going to make sure that I can see when you make a comment so that I can answer any questions that you have or anything like that. I'm a little frustrated because I figured out before how I could turn my screen so you could read the writing on it. Can't find it. Even went back to the original instructions that I got for it. I can't find where it is. So you're going to have to put up with the fact that the writing is backwards today, and that is always frustrating when you know that it's there somewhere and you can't find it. So anyway, it's been a little bit frustrating off and on because ever since I've been home and other people have been working from home, our internet goes in and out. So hopefully we'll not have that as a problem today. Anyway, we're here today for the Focus of the Week. So in the comment section, let me know that you're there. And there I see that there's one person. Let me see if I don't. Okay, this is one of those days where maybe you and I both need to just take a deep breath. Make sure we're fully present today. And it's really interesting because I've turned this so that I can see out my window, and I love seeing the green and the yellow-green out the window and seeing how spring is really coming around. Feels like such a breath of fresh air. And I actually got out today. It's kind of cloudy, but I actually got out today and walked to the mailbox, which is a ways away, and just felt good to get outside. So anyway, for those of you who may not have been here before, my name is Arlene Arnold, and I am a certified spiritual guide and healing facilitator. Hi, Patty. I'm so glad to see you're here. And I have been creating what I call transformational tools ever since 1995. And two of the tools are decks of cards, and that's what we're going to be working with today. So what I'm going to do first is to talk a little bit about the decks of cards and how they came about. And then I will be picking a card. I think I'm going to pick a card from each deck today and to see what we need to be focusing on this week. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the changing energies and how we can be able to go through this time. I just put out my newsletter, and if you would like to get that newsletter, I will put a place in the comments where you can sign up for it. But in that newsletter, I was talking a little bit about some of the things that I went through, which were that last week was a really weird week for me. But anyway, some of that is in that. I do a blog post and then put that also into a newsletter. So I'll be having that available for you so you can see what's up with what we're doing. Now, the thing that I want to tell you about is that we have two sets of cards. Now again, sorry, this is backwards. These are the color cards. And the color cards came about, this is actually the second version of them. The color cards came about because I was in this training to be a spiritual guide and healing facilitator, and I found this book that talked about complementary colors and how that they can heal. And I was just riveted by that. And I just began to look at every single thing that I could find that had to do with color. And in the process, I began to realize that I wanted to create a deck of cards because I didn't see anyone who had used color in a deck of cards. And in the process of doing that, I figured out kind of where I wanted to go with it. But in the night, I was actually given the first 12 cards because in the original deck there were 12 cards. And so I was at a retreat at the time with the group that I was training with. And so the next morning, we were in somebody's home. So the next morning, I went to my friend and said, "Do you have construction paper? Do you have foil that I can use as the silver? Do you have gold wrapping paper?" Anyway, she found me everything I needed. I created the cards out of those things. And then when we took a break, I was doing readings for people just by what I had learned about the colors and what I knew about the complementary colors. And so the group was saying, "Oh, you need to make this into a deck of cards." So that's how they came about. And then the luminaries, again, apologies for this being backwards, this came because I knew there was another set of colors that I was to be working with. As it turns out, it wasn't just a set of colors, because as I tried to just paint the colors and see if I could do that, and I felt like, oh no, there has to be more to it than that. So I knew that it was not, I'm not really an artist, although I love colors and I love dabbling. But what I found was that it was supposed to be some kind of art, and I knew that I wasn't the one. So what I did was to put out an intention into the universe that said, all right, if I'm meant to do this, bring me the artist. Well, lo and behold, a friend suggested someone who needed a place to stay for a while, and she was a digital artist, and she came and stayed with me on Anderson Island, where I lived, for 9 months while we deck of luminaries. So I'm just going to show you. This is there are 24 of these, so you can see each one is so totally individual. And Lorinda Eileen is the artist, and she wanted me to bring her something that would tell her about what was in the energy of it. So I would bring her either something I'd written, a picture, something that came to me. Sometimes it was an object, something that came to me that had something to do with what this art was to be. And then she wanted me to give her the numbers of repetitions, because you can see that this is a mandala and it has another number of repetitions. So she calls it a symbala because it has symbols in it that are repeated a number of times. So that's how these two decks came about. I thought it would be interesting just to let you know about that. So I want to say hi to a few people. Hi, Will. Hi, Leslie. Hi, Barbara. I'm glad you're all here. This is really fun. All right, so I am going to pick the cards for this week. So again, here are the little mini color cards. There's 16 of these. And I go like this, mixing them up, because there's an up and a down to them. And we're going to see, and then we'll just do this a little bit. And now I'm going to just see what stands out. Okay, this is the one. Oh my goodness, this came up for somebody that I sent a message to this morning. This is the Strength in Purple. So I hope you're good at reading backwards. And you can see in the center is the complementary color, yellow. So what it says at the top here is the strength, this is the Strength in Purple, regal, commanding, spiritual. So really what this is doing is calling us into standing in this sense that we have of being some kind of a way shower or a leader of some kind. And that's, we all are that. And so it's really important for us to be able to say yes to that. Now in the book, the color here is violet. Later on, as I was working with complementary colors, I have called the color purple. Violet has some different pieces to it than the purple does, so you're going to get a combination of that in the book. But let me just see what stands out, because the way this is set up, let me find the right, oops, that's not it. So violet is what, it's alphabetical, so I can see it in the binding. So there's the violet page. Now I know you can't read it because it's backwards. But each paragraph has a title to it, and I am just going to go down and see what title stands out for us. For some reason, royalty just jumps off the page. So I'm going to read this to you and then talk a little bit about what this means. And you feel this, royalty. This is about you and about us as humans. You are royal. You were birthed by the divine. You are claimed by the divine. A white halo crown signifies your acceptance of your divine inheritance. An energy coat of many colors graces your form. By these colors, all know the strengths you have acquired through your courage. You accept the divine directive you have received to take your leadership role in this life. You stand in quiet acceptance of your powerful self. All right, my friends, this is really important because what this is saying is that we're in a time when we need to stand in the power of who we are. Now, power is very different than what we've thought of it as in the past. The power we're talking about is empowerment. It means standing in the truth of who you are, being the person that you truly are. And we have been releasing a lot of the old patterns that are not who we are. So now we are going into a place where we can see who we really are in our authenticity. Authenticity is so huge. We've seen a lot in the world that it's not authentic. And we are called to live on our authenticity and to bring that energy in. And there are many authentic people around. But sometimes what gets the most notice is that which is not authentic. So we need to be that energy of authenticity. And that's what purple and violet are talking to us about and showing us that we need to be. And then in the luminaries, there is a card, and I'm thinking maybe that's the one that we need to be looking at today. Instead of picking the card, I'm just going to find this one because I think it's called Crown, and I think it has information that will be added to this that is very important. So the numbers of the crown are 10, so 10 repetitions, and that is kind of a number of completion. So here we go. So this is, sorry, I thought I had that turned off. Okay, so what it mentions in here is that these colors, let's see, it says a white halo crown of your acceptance is, now this is white, but it also has gold. But this crown fits in with the information that is in here under the violet. Now, it also says that we have certain colors in our energy field. People feel the frequency of that. And those colors actually tell people, or they feel what it is that is their energy and who they are. So I want to go to Crown here and have you here. That's my kitty. Everybody seems to be wanting my attention right now. So this is your time to be recognized. Will you boldly accept the crown of awakening? The crown of awakening. Not as someone who stands above others, but as one who shares in the journey of becoming fully present and accepts responsibility for living a unique contribution. See, that's so important right now. Each of us has a unique contribution, and sometimes you go, I don't know what that is. But if you just focus on authenticity, what is it that is authentically me? And what is it that I love to bring forward out of that authenticity? And that's what you focus on. So hello to Grace. Thank you, Grace, for being here. I'm so glad you're here. So, so what we have is violet purple, and we also have the crown. And this is the one I'm really having you focus on, because if you will see what this is for you, have you accepted the crown of awakening? Have you been willing to be awakened and be who you truly are? That's the question. And then remember that this violet purple says regal, commanding, and spiritual. And the section that I was reading you about is the regal. And it just has, or royalty, so which is the regal. So it has so much to do with remembering who you are, and then you will know why you are here. So that is our focus for this week, is really to be in our authenticity, to be willing to accept that crown of awakening if you haven't already done that, and to really know who you are. Now, I want to show you this. This is some art that is done by Cindy Renz. A little bit of too much. There we go. I want to show this to you because these colors are so up for me right now, especially the red, orange, and the different colors of blue. And so it's one of the reasons that I wore this together today, because this is red, but it also has some red orange in it. And I'm an Aries, so red has always sort of been the color that I identify with, that because it's a fire sign and it's really has a lot of energy. But I'm telling you, if you had talked to me last week, I would be the furthest from having energy of anyone you know. So it's kind of like, this is just now the time when I'm starting to feel like I'm back into who I am. And Aries is in one of the signs, one of the places in the how we're looking at the planets and all of that. So I don't know that stuff enough, but I know that it's affecting me because one of them is in Aries. So what I want to say is a little bit more about how you can go through this time. And I was reading a book today, and it was, I meant to get it out, but it's what it was saying in there was really about how we can be really present by being, not by doing. And part of my challenge is that when I get back into the Aries energy, I'm like a whirlwind, and I have to pull myself back and say, okay, just relax, take a deep breath, and go into beingness. Hi, Cindy. Cindy's here. I just showed your picture, Cindy. So wonderful to have you here. Anyway, that idea of beingness is so important. It's not about doing. The doing comes from the beingness, and all of that is connected to living in your authenticity. Because we have, so very long, we have been focused on the human side of us and what we feel and what we think and that kind of thing. And what this is about is not that. This is about, who am I first? What is my authenticity first? And then from that, what is the doing that needs to follow? So I hope that you understand that. So we're going to go into some, doing some readings for you. And I'm not sure if I'll do the color cards of the luminaries. I'll just kind of feel it and see what is there for you. So, so I would like to have you let me know if there's a particular thing you would like me to focus on for you. I'm just going to do a reading for some of the people that are here that I know, and I will then take whatever you put in there. Just put a comment in there. Yes, I want a reading, or what about this or that, and then we'll do a reading around that. So I see Barbara is here, and Barbara Baker, and I wanted to do a reading for you, Barbara. So I think yours is a luminary. So there are 24 of these. So I'm just going to mix them up on the table and just see what comes up. Oh, this is a really good one for you, Barbara. This one is called illumination. And I just want to read the first part of this because this is a really good one for you to be focusing on. And it sort of comes also from a biblical place that that has meant something to me. So it says, light magnifies light, which magnifies light, which impacts the entire universe, so let your light shine. And there's a place in the Bible that says, don't put your light under a bushel, yeah, you know, like a bushel basket, but allow your light to shine. And so that's really what this one is saying. So Barbara, I know that you've been working on how you are to have your light shine. So make that your focus. Be sure and make that your focus, because you really are in a time that's important for your light to shine. And this is true for all of us, because we are in a time when our light is needed, and it becomes a collection of our lights. It becomes part of what affects the collective consciousness. And the collective consciousness is part of how we create our intention for what is next in humanity. And I believe that there has been an intention, which I call a divine intention, that has been part of our collective, but we still have a lot of other vibrations that would like to control, and those vibrations can pull us down if we allow that, which makes it harder for us to bring about the intention. So I want us to focus on being the light that we are, because each one of you has a very special light. Each one of you has a very special way that you contribute through all the frequencies of color that are in your field and who you are. And you contribute according to what is your authenticity that you're living from and doing from. Okay, so let's just see. Grace, I'm going to do one for you. I think yours is a color card. So let me, what is this? There's a one of the large cards here that's, I'm wondering if this is for Grace. We'll see. This is good. Okay, Grace, yours is the strength in white. Well, the complement to that is black, which is what was sitting here on the table. And in many ways, this is really where we are in this time, is the balance between the poles. And so black and white are the poles. I always think of the black as all the pigments that we put together that are part of who we are here on Earth. Those are all the colors. And then the white is all the colors of light. And so it's kind of like, wow, isn't that a powerful way of seeing the poles, the black and white? Because in the past, we've thought of it as division. But as we're going into this, the poles work with each other, kind of almost as if there's an infinity sign between the poles. And when you have that kind of wholeness, that is what really brings together everything that we're attempting to do here. So Grace, yours is to recognize that you really are in the white, which is pure, strong, unconditionally loving, and that the other side of that pole is the black. So, and the black is really, when you come to understand what the black is, I'm going to tell you what it says on the little card. It's focused, transforming, and full of potential. So when you have black, sometimes you go through a time when things are coming up and you're having to deal with them, and you feel like that's the black. You might say, I'm in a black hole or something like that. If you can just really understand that part of what you're doing is a process of change, because the lesson in black is embrace the possibilities, banish fear. And fear is often what keeps us in that place of seeing black as something that's a low frequency. But when you think of what happens when you embrace the possibilities and when you banish fear, then you move into, oh, now I can focus. I'm focused, transforming, and full of potential. So those two colors are really important as the poles of what we are bringing together. Okay, so let's see. Anybody else want to put a message in there about what you would like me to focus on for you? I know Will is here too. Let me see, Will. Let's see what is up for you today. Oh, and Patty's here. Let me do Patty's first. Okay, Patty, let me see what's up for you. So, part of the messages disappear, so that I have to remember who's here. Okay, so Patty, yours is the lesson in orange. And on the little card it says, allow all your emotions to be felt. And it's kind of like, I think you already know this. You've been really been focusing on your process. And this is true for all of us because there are a lot of emotions that come up, and some of it is that we're very intuitive, and we pick up all the emotions of other people as well. So part of it is figuring out, is this mine or somebody else's or both? And so it's really important that we know what we're dealing with. But if it's other people's emotions, we can do some of the same kind of thing. And what we do with the colors is blue and orange are complementary colors, and we can just send those colors out to help anybody who's in emotional turmoil. And if you personally are in emotional turmoil, just call on orange and blue and say, come help me to release, or at least feel and acknowledge and then release whatever it is that is here, because the emotions are ones, they're different from the senses. The senses are really important as a part of our creativity and a part of our experience in the world. But emotions tend to be those things that have gotten stuck. And the stuck emotions are part of what we have to heal in order to be able to move into the true wave of energy that we are. So this is a good time for all of us to pay attention to what comes up, pay attention to it, acknowledge it, and then use your tools to allow it to dissipate or transform. And that then becomes something that is a great positive for you, because the strength in orange is sensual, alive, presence, and happy. So that's really, and happy, it comes from living as your true self, in your authenticity. So hello, Karen. Karen's here too. So let me do a quick card for Karen. Oh, I think Karen's is a luminary. So let me see, Karen, what you've got for. Okay, that's this one. Oh my goodness, Karen, you've got crystalline. Okay, so let me go to crystalline, and then Cindy has a request here. Okay, page 32. Rub your sleep. Oh, that's awakened. That's probably a good one too. From the place of crystalline octave, carriers of the brilliant light of home offer to sprinkle your dreams with their wisdom and soften the land with their love. Call on them. They come to help inspire, transform, and reform this world through the vibrations of light. So one of the things that we can do is to call on crystalline. So like when we're focused on the virus is actually bringing things up and making us pay attention to the things that need to change. So there's some really good things that will come out of that. But at the same time, we can ask crystalline to work with the vibration of the virus so that what happens will be in the highest good for all of us and for humanity. And so we can just send Crystalline out. Let's just do that right now. Let's just ask Crystalline to connect with the virus and do whatever is highest and best for humanity at this time as we shift into a new place. And so it is. All right, so Cindy wants to know the next color she should paint. Yes, Karen, it is a great thought. Yes, I love that one. All right, so let's see what color comes up for Cindy, what she needs to paint next. Black? Black and white. I think you used to do a lot of black and white. Maybe there's something from what you were doing before that needs to come forward in a different way. Just sit with that. See where that takes you. Oh. All right, well, my friends, I'm so happy you're all here, and I will try to resolve the situation so that next time you'll be able to read what I put up in front. And let's just do everything we can to love the earth right now. I was thinking today was Earth Day, but apparently tomorrow is. Thank you, Leslie, for letting me know that. And in my newsletter, I have a picture in there that I took on the trail near our place. And it was really interesting when I saw that picture, because I thought, oh, those are the colors that we need right now, because it was green and it was white and it was brown. So in the newsletter, I was talking about how the green is for healing, it's heart-centered, and the white brings in this divine light, and the brown just is the earth loving us and supporting us. And that is such an important part of our experience here on Earth. Well, Jenny just joined us, so Jenny, I'm going to pick a card for you. Okay, let's see what's here for Jenny. All right, Jenny, you and I have... This is the lesson in red. Sorry you can't read it, but it says, use your intense energy to live your life meaningfully. And I can feel that you have a lot of intense energy like I do. So you notice I have red on because I'm just honoring my energy, but I'm also reminding myself that the complementary color to red is green, and the complementary color to red orange is turquoise, which I was showing you this earlier. I said it's blue, but it's really more of a blue turquoise. This was Cindy's art that I was showing earlier. Those are the colors that I'm really drawn to right now. So Jenny, you might find that you're drawn to those colors as well. But in using your life, your intense energy to live your life meaningful, again, that just says to me the message that I tell myself all the time, and that is, I can't really live from my authenticity if I'm running too fast, because I get ahead of myself and I lose my alignment. So the message in that is to just pull yourself back, be in your alignment, and if you start getting feeling bad or being depressed or something, that's like you're moving backwards behind you, and so pull yourself back into your alignment. And that alignment is an alignment that goes through you, through your chakras, down into the red in the earth and the other parts of the earth, and then it goes up and connects to the center of the cosmos, and that comes back then down in your center and keeps you aligned between the home that we came from, the source, and the earth that is here to really help us learn how to live a good human life. So what fun it is to have you all here. All right, I'm going to quit. You know, if you know me, I could just go on and on. So let's just, so Will needed, if we were going to do one for Will, I've sort of lost track of who I've done one for. So Will, I'm going to pick a color card for you, just real quick before we go here. Okay, so Will, you're in the strength of green, integrated, growing, and loving. So what a nice place to be right now as we get into Earth Day. So just use that beautiful strength in green to honor the earth, which I know you will. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so I want you to know that you can sign up for my newsletter, that we're here every Tuesday at 3 o'clock, and I actually can do a full reading for you if you would like, and I will put up the link for that before you can sign up for that. And then I have also my full hour sessions now. I have a base price on that, but I'm allowing you to decide from there how much you would like to pay, because I know some people have lost a job or Will says he knew it would be green. Good for you. But if you feel like you need more help, I now have that set, so you should be able to afford whatever it is right for you. And I am just wanting to support you through this time. It's such an important time. And all of us are here to do our best to bring what we have to offer. And if you're having a hard time doing that, this is the time to get some help for that. All right, my friends, until next week, so nice to have you here. Sending lots of blessings to everyone. Bye for now.